Hi guys, John, the firearms instructor. Welcome to our live. I'm glad you're here. We're trying something a little different today. We're going to be going on Instagram as well and try to pump the live over there. We'll see how this works. Give me a second here and I will punch the Instagram one in and hit this for live as well. I am here. I'm just behind the scenes real quick. And we're going to be editing as we go here. And we're going to try to go live on Instagram as well as every other game. All right. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. If you are okay, here we go. Show with Instagram. You're ending Instagram. Do not. You are not continuing. Try. All right. All right. 1 second here. I'm going to go back to the Instagram feed and try to get that on as live. I'll be right back. Okay. Of course. Create. There we go. Create. And Instagram. There we go. And audience. Live from the range. Here we go. Public. Next. Okay. There we go. I'm going to hit go live on this side here. And hit over here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We're trying to figure out the old Instagram thing. Doesn't look like it's going to work this evening. We'll try it again later on and see if it's going to work for us. Hope you're doing wonderful this evening. I'm going to go ahead and get us out of Instagram since it is not working. Hello, Tristan. How are you, sir? Welcome to the live. There are 7 of you on here. We appreciate you being here this evening. We have a great show for you. We have a lot of neat little stuff. Now, we are live range, so keep in mind that you may hear some loud explosions going on and things like that. We have the doors opening. We are open all the way. Hey, how are you, darn well? And we are here open all the way till 7 o'clock. So we are a live range. So you may hear some noises in the background, but we are glad you're here. If you're new to the channel, my name is John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of Firearms Training Facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. That's on the southwest side of Florida between Naples and Tampa. And we specialize in you. We specialize in the first time shooter, maybe somebody who is new to shooting or has not shot a pistol before. And a lot of these lives we do are on a lot of different topics that are available for you. We have a YouTube channel. We as of yesterday just surpassed 29,000 subscribers. We're working our way up to that 30,000. If you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. If you find some value in what we do this evening, these live podcasts that we're doing right now, we're calling them live podcasts because after the fact, these podcasts are put on a video only thing and put on our podcast as well. YouTube many months ago came up with the podcast theater as well. So we are podcasting on our YouTube channel as well as all the places you would find a podcast, Spotify and all those other places. And if you have one, we have probably 15 or 20 on there as well that are audio only. They're not video, they're audio only, but some people consume our products in multiple different ways. If you have the opportunity to consume some of our products, we would appreciate it very much. So we have a sponsor this evening, and that sponsor is me. We actually have our first ebook out, and we want to get you guys looking at those. We're just doing really well with them. I have offered a discount for everybody who comes onto our channel here or finds us many ways. There'll be a link at the bottom in our description. That's our first ebook that we put out is our ebook on why I shoot low and left, which is one of the videos that's our highest ranking video of people having problems with shooting low and left. And this is an opportunity for you to solve the problem. There are many things causing you to shoot low and left, and we're going to solve each one of them. And that book is only $9.99, and it can be found anywhere that you download your ebooks, like Amazon and places like that. But if you go directly to the link below and you put in the the um, the discount code of live LIVE 2024, you're going to receive a 20 a $4.99 discount or $5 discount, which will make the book only $4.99. And I would highly recommend that you pick this up. It's very educational. Now we are putting together another book right down the pipe on this one. The very first one is low and left. The second one is going to be proper grip, and the third one's going to be trigger engagement. And each one of these are going to be supplied to you on top of the fact that we have a playlist on our YouTube channel of each thing we talk about in these videos. Now, the free book we got coming out as well, and that free book is 10 secrets from a firearms instructor that are essential for new students to know. And that is going to be right from our website, and I'm going to be posting that probably by the end of this week sometime. And that's going to give them 10 secrets as well as 10 videos that they could watch and review and maybe not make that mistake to start their shooting career. So, pretty cool little information there. Tonight, it's all about drills, pistol drills. We're assuming some of you have learned to shoot a little bit, and we're going to put 10 pistol drills together that I think we have worked on and have videos attached to. So, we're going to talk about them this evening, and then you can download this or upload it, whichever way you want to say it. I say download. You're going to download it on your software, your phone, or whatever it is, and it's going to give you the ability to watch these videos. We have a full playlist on drills you need to know, and these are going to be great firearms training drills. Now, what I did, because we're an indoor range, and we limit what people can do with a firearm in our range, like we can't let people draw from the holster by themselves. Because not everyone is ready for that. Um, so we do a lot of low and ready or minimum round count drills and things like that. So we want to make sure that we did these 10 videos on low round count drills that you can do at any range that allows you to do any from table work up, like low and ready and up. So I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to like it. And if you have a no, looks like we had a comment. Is a Taurus G3C? This is from Michael Blanco. Thank you, Michael, for the question. Is a Taurus G3? Let's see. Is the Taurus G3 a good first time gun firearm? What's a good firearm for a person with arthritis? Well, I would tell you the Taurus G3C is a great weapon. The only problem I would say to you is that the G3C has a blacked out back sight, which means it only has the front post with the white dot on it, and the two back dots are not there. If you learn to shoot that well, that's called a carry sight. It's okay, but a lot of people focus too much on the front post and don't bury it in the box, and there's not really a box to see. Like a Glock has a box and dot system, which is similar to what the Taurus has, but there's no box around the back sight system. So, in my opinion, something like the G2C with a three dot system would be a better choice for somebody who's new to shooting because it helps you visualize your front post and your back post. But as far as the trigger on the G3C, it's a flat trigger, a better trigger. Price point's right on it. I would not say it's a bad pistol for a first time shooter. Those trigger engagements on all the Taurus models tend to have a little sponginess to them. compared to a Glock, which a Glock is a very stiff trigger. But once you've learned how to run a trigger like on a Taurus, then you won't have a problem with the world. Michael, price point wise, it's a great weapon. Great weapon. Now, he's added to this someone with arthritis. Now, the Tauruses aren't bad rack guns, but there are guns on the market now that are softer racking, like the Equalizer, which is a very light racking gun, or the EZ from Smith and Wesson as well. Those are both easy racking, easy loading weapons that would work really, really well. I would highly recommend you get down to a gun store and try all three of these. Take them back, do some shooting on them. You're really going to be able to tell the difference in the trigger in the Smith product versus the Taurus product. But if your wallet is mandating what you buy because the Taurus line, you don't be afraid of the Taurus, buddy. They're a great overall weapon and great, good first starter gun. If you can friendly budget yourself, I would highly recommend that you always step up a little bit more into the Taurus, the Smith line or the Glock line or something a little better would be ideal than starting with the Taurus, but I wouldn't tell you that the Taurus would be a bad choice if that makes sense. Because at the end of it, it really, really, it's all up to you, buddy. It's all up to you. I hope I answered your question. I know I got long winded in that. I apologize. All right. And Rick Shepard, late as always, but I'm here. Thanks. You're not late, buddy. As long as you watch the show, that's all that matters to me, kid. I appreciate you being here. So let's start this PowerPoint presentation out. I hope it's going to be fun for you. I think you're going to like it. I'm going to take myself and pull me directly off this thing to make the big screen and work it here. Top 10 drills for ultimate firearms training. So let's go start with the first one. Oh, this is my little book here. I'm gonna I put this in each week because I want you to make sure you see it. This is a great overall thing. There's a link in the description below. This is going to help you. We're actually selling a lot of these. I was kind of at first I was kind of shocked that I even was able to make a book. Now listen, be honest with you. Without my wife and without my family and without other people, this would not happen. But the passion of mine to get this information out to you any way you can consume it. That's why we do the YouTube channel, and that's why we do these lives, and that's why we do all this stuff. But this is a great opportunity for you to see, watch, and do, and get yourself shooting more accurate with a pistol. Because each one of these uh, videos, there's a master your aim, why I shoot low and left, play playlist on our YouTube channel that shows you every video and explains why you're doing everything. So if you want to get that book, go to our YouTube channel, or after this, visit this, put in that live 2024 and get $5 off your list price. And that makes this book only $4.99. And it's well worth that, guys. All right, so let's hit the next one. All right, so the very first drill we're going to work on, and it's probably one of the easiest drills to set yourself up with. It's called the Mozambique Drill. Now, we did a full list of drills. It was called Pistol 201. We did Pistol 101, which is actually doing all the pieces and parts, which is on our playlist. But the Pistol 201 is more intensive firearms training drills that get you more in line of what a natural drill would be, like this to the body, one to the head. This has been practiced an awful lot in a lot of different areas, but it does give you a little bit of anticipation and control. Because we can add a little bit of movement into this by taking the target to us as we're shooting this. Now, I can't tell you can do this at every range, but back at our range, we can actually have someone manipulate your target and while you're shooting to the body, one to the head. Now, in the real life form situation, you most likely would be popping two on the body. This second bullet had not done its effect, and he's still coming at you, and then you finalize one to the head, which would be a you know devastating to most people. So Mozambique drills are pretty easy to set up. You can do these indoors, you can do these outdoors. Outdoors are a lot better. Now, we've done these drills where we run towards the target and put the shots, and then we've had the targets come to us when we put the shots. You can run a Mozambique with a pistol. You can run it with a rifle. You can run it with rifle and pistol if you wanted to by transitioning from your pistol to the body and then pull up the one to the head. Now, obviously, there's some work that has to be done because normally that one headshot is a closer. In other words, so technically, if you transition to the body with the rifle, and as the target kept coming at you, then you pulled your sidearm and put the last one in. It's a great overall drill. Now, this drill can be done just doing it. It can be done timed wise. See how fast you can put these three shots in. And it's not just about putting the two in the body, one in the head. It's more in regards to getting them where they need to be and be proficient with it, right? Because now we're starting to work the gun faster and faster and faster. And the most of these drills that we try to work, we start at a speed like a decent cadence would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then as you get down to it and you're running the drill as fast as you can be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I mean, get these three shots out as quick as we can and be proficient with it, right? We want to take these drills to failure because if we take the drills to failure obviously without doing nothing unsafe, but taking a drill to failure, you know where you need to work your speed at. So we could do these Mozambique at 3 yards. We can do the Mozambique at 5 yards. We can do the Mozambique at 21 feet. Vice versa, you could do that at a yard, at 3 yards. I mean, if you had the opportunity and the target was coming to you. A couple weeks ago, we did a drill. We did a enhanced pistol class, and I had all the students stand there, and we were putting two to the body, one to the head, and they were not allowed to shoot the headshot until I yelled out, you know, uh, engage, and that kind of put that within arm's length of that last one. Now, the guys in the class that had the red dots were working really well at long distances, but they had to adjust when that shot was right at their arm's distance, 1 inch away from their gun, and they're backing away from it. That red dot's not exactly where it needs to be at that point in time. So that's why we need to make sure when we're focusing on our shots, a lot of times we may be focusing on a point shot thing, not really aiming with the pistol or pointing the pistol at that point in time. And I got a pretty good picture of Miss Johnson doing that. So she was able to run the come out of holster, take the two shots downrange, and then take that last shot coming and hit her at a decent speed. We took our targets, and I was running. Jacob was running, or somebody was running the actual uh, the track system to bring the target to you. So if you don't have the Mozambique and have never tried the Mozambique, this video, which is on our YouTube channel, will allow you to. This is a video that was probably the first time we did it. This picture is from probably a year ago. A year ago. And this is a full, probably 20-minute video talking about it, showing you how to do it. Give this a try. I think it's going to be a good thing you add to your portfolio. If you're going to the range and not having a plan, you could write a couple of these things down and make sure that you get a plan when you go to the range. Go into the range, filling the magazine up full of 15 rounds and blasting away. You're just picking up bad habits doing that, not good habits. Let's work some drills into what we're doing at the range each time. So the very first one would be the Mozambique. All right. The transition drill is a great drill because this allows us to stop moving our wrist and start moving our waist. Now, keep in mind, we do not use our wrist to aim a weapon because the angle of the wrist from the arm puts the weapon at a weird angle. We always use our waist to aim the gun. So in this drill, what we ended up doing was we weren't able to get a big target, but we ended up working off a 3-inch circle. And those 3-inch circles were across the chest kind of deal and down the bottom. Now the one in the middle, we always had to bend at our waist to get the weapon there and not the physical arm. You don't move your arms to aim the gun, you move your waist to go. Think about this, guys. You are the tank. You are the turret in the tank, and that turret does not wiggle all over the place. It only circles in a circle, and then the barrel of the tank moves up and down. And that's what we're going to do with our waist is we're going to move the gun up and down by using our waist, and we're going to move it right or left by using our waist. We're not going to use our wrist. We're not going to move our arms. And these transition drills can work really well. And this works really, really good, especially at longer distances. You can get 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet between each target. It definitely makes a big difference on how you move with the weapon because not only are you transitioning with the pistol, but you need to stop before you engage when you're shooting multiple targets, right? We set up 2 silhouette targets 10 feet apart or 15 feet apart. You need to get the target, get there, and then stop before you engage a trigger. Because if you don't stop, you're going to push that bullet exactly where you're moving. So, transition drills are really good drills to work on. You can actually use a small target like we did on this video, but you can actually go out if you're in outdoor situation. You can actually do a taller target and a shorter target. You could actually physically do 2 guys same size, one guy taller, one guy shorter. You could do one forward and one backwards, a little deeper and a little harder. That'll give you some good transitions as well. 'Cause most people who are in an indoor range are working off your target only. You can't go out of your berm area, but when you're working outside, you physically can. So if you have the opportunity, some kind of transition drill will be a good drill to add to your portfolio. It allows us the ability to move with the weapon. And why is moving of the weapon important? Because if you don't get to do it on a regular basis, and most indoor ranges won't let you, you need to practice it as much as you can because in real life, your body is going to want to move. It wants to survive. It's not going to stand still. You're going to be on the run before you even know it. Watch some of these videos, these cops getting in these gunfights. They're moving, they're running, they're doing everything they can, and they don't even know why they're running at that point in time. They're just on survival mode. In a real life situation, when all the shit hits the fan, your body's going to go into dump mode. It's going to dump a bunch of adrenaline in you. And at that point in time, it's only going to focus on what it deems 100% necessary. So maybe some dexterity won't be there. Maybe you won't be as nimble and movability is not going to be there. You may be a tunnel vision. You may not be able to focus directly on everything at that point in time. So transitioning drills like this helps us tremendously. So number 2, transitions. All right, let's look at now. Keep in mind now we have a full video. This is a thumbnail from one of our videos, and you can watch what I did in this video and add it to one of your portfolios. Add it to one of your list of things you can do at the range. All right. Here's another one. This is the 3x5 drill. Or they call it the bill drill. There's a lot of different things they call it. These are not my personal, I made them all up kind of deal. But we've modified every one of these to fit for us using them in indoor range. And if you recognize, most of these are low round count drills. We only put 5 rounds in a gun at a time. This 3x5 drill is a great drill because it allows us different size targets. Now I could take that 3x5 card and use it the way it is there, which would be, what did you say, horizontally. Then I could change that 3x5 card and make it vertically and give us more space, shorter in the waist, but taller in the top. And then we could fold that 3x5 card in half. This is what we did in this video. We're working on that 3x5, and then we're doing 3 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. This first drill is supposed to be done at 3 yards. It's supposed to be done at 3 yards, and your job is to put all 5 rounds in that 3x5 card. And you do not move that 3x5 card until you are 100% in that box. And then you move it out, you move it out, you move it out, and try to get it out to 21. 3, 5, and 7 is our yardages that we want you to practice at on a regular basis. If you're proficient at 3 yards, 5 yards, and 7 yards, that's a pretty good example of a defensive accuracy area. And that's what we want you to work on mostly. 3, 5, and 7 is going to give you the average distance of a situation that would happen. Most of the time, past 7 yards, past 21 foot, chance of the bad guy hitting you versus you hitting the bad guy is challenging. Bad guys don't get to train, you do. So make sure you're proficient as much as possible, especially at those longer distances. Because when the longer distances, we have to add in anticipation, we have to add in recoil management, we have to add in muscle memory problems that we may get into, not including the drill and dump if you really got in a situation. So we want to make sure we're comfortable with all these little drills like that. 3x5 drill is a good drill because it actually allows you to really tighten up your grip. Remember the old saying, aim small, miss small. We're no longer looking at a silhouette of a bad guy. We're looking at a piece of card stock that's 3x5. This can be done with a 3x5 card. It can be done with a sticky note. It can be done with a little round circle. It can be done with that tactical black marker, and you just build a box on a white piece of paper. You don't have to have anything fancy to run these drills. It just gives you, we're aiming at something small to hit something small. That's the key to this. And it works on your target acquisition and accuracy. And that's all we're trying to do. Because more than likely, and you look at these video, it looks like I've got a couple I dropped out of here. Most likely that was Johnny shooting, not me, but I most likely printed out all those. But see how I'm at the bottom of the 3x5 card? Not in. I don't know. I can't remember on this one if we actually went past 5 yards. I would almost bet you we did 3 and 5 and 7. And that kind of tells you where we were on that day. All right, so 3x5. That's a good one. Number 4 would be learning to operate the weapon with your non-dominant hand. Now, how many of you on here? There's 11 of you. I'm expecting 11 answers. How many of you have shot your pistol with your non-dominant hand? How many have spent any time taking the magazine out of your gun with your non-dominant hand? Or do you even know how to take it out with your non-dominant hand without physically putting the gun down and pushing it with your... If I'm right-handed and I can use my left finger, my left index finger. Is it index? Yeah, my left middle finger, I would call it, not ring finger, my middle finger. I can use that to drop my magazine with my left hand and no issue. I teach left-handed students that all the time. But we had a guy who had lost his arm in a construction job, and he had been almost 2 years, and he had a prosthetic arm. And he wanted to come in and me teach him how to shoot his pistol with his prosthetic arm. Now, his prosthetic arm had a prosthetic hand that was operated by a laptop or a phone. And we spent some time, and there's the video there. We spent some time, him and I, running the weapon. We couldn't get that finger to move inside the gun the way we wanted to. It just wasn't natural. It just wasn't safe. It a year from now, that prosthetic thing he had was probably going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot cleaner. It's going to work a lot better. But this time ever, now he's right-handed his whole life, right-handed. He lost his right arm in the battle, so we ended up teaching him how to shoot left-handed, and we did everything left-handed, even loading a magazine. So in this video, you're gonna watch me put my right hand, in my pocket and load and rack and do everything with my non-dominant hand. And it's a true challenge for somebody, especially someone who's left-handed, to do something right-handed. It's pretty easy. Those left-handers have been doing stuff right-handed their whole life because there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't cycle over in the left-handed situation. Now, Johnny, my oldest boy, um, he is right-handed and left-handed. He's really left-handed, but he does a lot of stuff right-handed. He does a lot of stuff left-handed. So at one time or another, Johnny was shooting right-handed, and then he switched it to left hand and became twice as accurate. And he's probably our better shooter besides Miss Johnson, um, when it comes to shooting with his left hand. So this is something we need to practice, guys, because in a real life situation, if you took a shot to your hand and you lost your dominant hand, but you're still in the battle, you need to make sure you understand how to load and unload. Now, the real trick in your loading and unloading of a magazine is pretty simple when you're it's it's pretty simple once you get the concept, but until you have the concept, it is somewhat challenging. And there are some tricks and tips that we'll show you in this video. But I want you to practice as much as possible with both hands, because it's going to make you a better shooter in the long run in case something ever happens, especially if you're having to transition or do something else and you may get yourself in a situation where that other hand would work. So this is a great video for you guys to watch and spend some time doing. Comment below. Tell me how many times you guys have shot with your non-damage, or is it something that you put in your routine, or have you not thought about it? And this is kind of important. I know there's a couple people that I deal with on a regular basis, like Tasha and things like that, that practice all different ways. They practice right-handed, left-handed. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you're using your non-dominant hand to shoot this weapon, or you're using one hand to shoot this weapon, you need to make sure you're stationary or tack that other hand somewhere. I always have people grab their shirt with the center of their chest when they're using their one hand for the gun. We want to control that hand, make sure it doesn't go anywhere you don't want it to go, especially in recoil management. So learn to operate a weapon with your non-dominant hand, loading and racking and all that stuff, it is an important thing you need to know. That was 4. All right, so I put the one right behind it with a one-handed drill. There I am, got my hand on my chest, keeping my hand away from it. If you notice, I've got my hand canted just a little bit. That's one of the tricks of anything, is cant that gun. So when we're shooting that weapon, that the recoil management is going up over our shoulder, not towards our face, and we're able to control it. Shooting a weapon one-handed is not that difficult to learn once you've got control of it, but there are a little bit of challenges that you got to get your head around while you're doing it. Why would you be shooting one-handed? Well, you may have your other hand tied up in something. You may be holding something, or I'm pushing back on a significant other, a loved one, or a child, and putting them behind me, and I only have one hand to operate the weapon with. And that's one of those deals that we need to make sure we understand how to do that to become the most proficient you can be with all types of weapons and all types of grips. Because at that certain point, that one-handed grip, there is no two hands on that at that point in time. So we need to be able to control that weapon and be able to practice enough to be proficient with it. All right. Number 6 is the line drill. I love this drill. This is the greatest drill ever because it really educates a person on where the horizontal and vertical line on you is. Now look at this horizontal and vertical line. The idea of this is you take a black magic marker, or you could take black tape, you can take any kind of tape you want, and make the first line, which would be across your eye. Stand in front of the target and take a black piece of tape or a black magic marker and put it directly across your eye. Now, this here, guys, is your horizontal line. And the key to this is where the weapon needs to be. It can't be below that line. It can't be above that line. So that horizontal line. Now, the very first thing we do in this drill in is to gauge 5 shots, moving your waist and work that line from right to left or left to right. Now, impact the line, you win. Shoot a little higher than the line, like you're shooting, let's say, an inch above the line, or you're still okay. But if you're engaging the target and you're shooting below the line, then you are doing a couple different things. You're either pulling the trigger, which is impacting the bullet in the way you can. You're either looking over the target. In other words, you're using the target, but you're got your head above the sights, or you're bending your wrist. All 3 of those would impact below the line. And this helps us understand what we're doing to manipulate the pistol. This line drill could be the only thing you do at the range. And when you get really proficient with this, you can shoot a pistol no matter what. Now with this line drill, what we do is not only do we add the horizontal line, but we add the vertical line. And at that X, where the horizontal line and the vertical line is, this should be your natural point of aim. Now, this target is set up for a right-handed student who is right eye dominant, which is me. And at that X, I shoot the line up. I use the vertical line to use, and I use my waist to shoot up and down the line as well. Again, if I'm shooting off this vertical line and I'm impacting to the left, I've got a couple things going on there. What do I have? I may have the gun at an angle in my hand. It's not going down my arm. It's a little canted off to one side. I may not have my head turned just enough to bend to what I'm trying to do is marry the weapon and the eye together. And I could have the gun more over my nose and over my dominant eye, and that would cause the impacts to be internally, which the left, right? Or I could put too much finger in the gun and cause it to go off to the left. There's a lot of different things. Then once you've got that horizontal line and the vertical line pretty good, then I want you to start impacting that where that X is, which should be your natural point of aim. And again, we don't want to cover this natural point of aim. We want to use our sights just to cover the top part of that. So in other words, we were still 6 o'clock hold, and you should be able to pop that whole little area there. And this gives you a great opportunity on those drills to work the best you can. So that line drill, if you have an opportunity, watch this video and give it a drill, give it a try. It's a great overall, probably one of the best tell-alls on what you're doing with a pistol. Because a lot of people shoot at a target and they're aiming at the target, but they're not impacting where they're aiming. And if they're not honest with themselves, they physically can't see the bullet hit the target. If you're aiming properly, you should see impact of bullet. You should see it because it should rise above your sight system, not below your sight system. Remember, your barrel is below your sights. And if you take your sights and put them directly in the middle of the barrel, middle of the target, instead of aiming at 6 o'clock hold, that bullet's either going to rise really high or you're going to pull it down really low. And most people pull below what they're aiming at. This drill will solve that very quickly and very educational. Very educational. get an opportunity to give it a try. Let me know if any of you have ever tried this drill. Tasha, don't say anything. I know you have. But rest of you, make sure this is in your little drill book. Make sure you get this. Make sure you start shooting this, and you'll improve your accuracy. I promise you that. I promise you that. All right, best drill for flinching. Everyone know what flinching is? That's when you anticipate the recoil and manipulate the gun prior to it firing. We've all done it once or twice before. We got a pistol in our hand. We think there's 4 rounds in it, but there's only 3 rounds in it. And that fourth shot, we just kind of we kind of get a little bobble there. Very unlikely that nobody ever doesn't flinch at one time or another. Now this one here, me and Mr. Johnson shot this thing together, and I had him load my magazines. This is the greatest thing you can do if you shoot with a buddy or a pal, and you could physically see him flinching to a point. The flinch itself is something that's internal. It's your monster. It's screaming its head off because it's if you don't shoot a lot. Obviously, if you shoot a lot, you're not really having a flinch issue as you much think you would, but there are flinching problems still with people who shoot an awful lot. But what this does for us is what I did is I had Johnny load up a couple magazines. This is a great drill for you guys to do, buddy pals, is to take your buddy's magazine and load it up with 2 dummies and 3 live. And then what ends up happening is if you're shooting 1, 2, 3 shots, and then that dummy round comes in, you won't know it's a dummy round until you press the trigger. Now, are you going to dump that gun because you're anticipating the recoil, or is it going to stay level? Now, I got all the way through this drill until the very end, and Mr. Johnson got me a couple of times, and surprisingly, I thought he'd get me a lot more, but he did not. Now, obviously, um, I knew we were going to have something like that, but if you do it for somebody who has not or hasn't been in that situation, they may not even realize they're flinching. And this is the greatest thing we do here at the range is I try to explain to people about pulling the trigger versus pressing the trigger and all that stuff and how much manipulation, but they don't physically understand what I mean by that. So what I'll do is I'll load their magazine and I won't put the magazine in the gun. I'll close it up, but I won't rack it, or I'll do something to make the gun not fire, or I'll put it all together. And when they engage the trigger properly, the weapon never moves. And I keep telling them, I'm in their ear, slowly press it, slowly press it, slowly press it. But when you watch them pull a trigger and they physically understand the difference between a pull and a press, it makes all the difference in the world. And then from there, it becomes easy for you to realize what the manipulation is happening when the trigger is pulled versus pressed. So, flinch control drill is one of those things that you can't really set it up yourself. You probably could if you closed your eyes and loaded your magazines, but it's best off doing with a buddy or pal. Get 3 or 4 empty casings, maybe some dummy rounds, and load them up like that. But this is a great overall control drill, and the control drills are the ones that you really learn from because you can feel yourself flinch or anticipate in these. So this is an overall great thing you can add to your portfolio. Let me know last time you guys flinched in a pistol. I did it today. I can tell you that. We shoot almost every day, and sometimes it happens, guys. Can't say it doesn't. We did a live a couple weeks ago about point shooting, and point shooting is one of those things. I don't know what the hell this picture is. Mr. Johnson used to make me look like a dummy. I'm almost looking like a dummy in that one there. But shooting a weapon without sights, this is one of those deals that we need to really work at. I told you before, starting at a small paper plate of any kind, working out your magic, getting out further out, and just realizing that you don't need the sights. As I've told many people many times before, sights on a pistol are your convenience. We don't need those sights to win the fight. We need those sights just for the purpose of being accurate at the range. In a real life situation, in a true scenario, the vital triangle starts at the shoulders and goes to the groin. and there is no bullseye on a bad guy. So you just got to be able to make sure that you run the gun. Point shooting is one of those drills you need to practice on a daily basis or every time you go to the range. If you're going to the range and spending 100 rounds shooting, there are plenty of drills you can do and still have time at the end to load a couple full magazines and blast away. But blasting away at the range does not educate you, it hurts you. Where all these low round count drills are going to help you tremendously work on your accuracy as well as your defensive accuracy, which are two different things. It's not the same thing because we don't really. I'm not a person that goes in and tries to be a bullseye shooter. Now the boys and some of the guys here are very very proficient and they're very very accurate and they can keep everything in a 3-inch circle and they've got a good cadence to them and they work really well at it and that's awesome and great, but we don't need bullets to stack to become accurate. We need to have the weapon, we need to have the confidence, we need to have the bullets impact where we're aiming. That's accuracy. That's accuracy. That's having the confidence to know when I take the weapon and put it out in front of me and I cut the shot, it's going to go where I'm pointing it. Not low and left, not up and right, not high and left, not all. I'm not going to Kentucky windage because I always shoot low and left. I'm going to aim high and right for that goes exactly where it needs to go. That's not what we want to do. We want to be proficient. We want to understand what's causing the manipulation and solve it. And point shooting is a good way to understand the sights are there for your convenience. Not that you need them, but they are there little to help, right? So give this drill a try. Point shooting is easy. It's not rocket science. Put a paper plate, 8-inch paper plate, out at 3 yards. Try to focus on the back side of the pistol without physically looking at your sights and press through the trigger to the back of your hand and watch the bullet impact. This is the only time I can tell you that you were actually looking for the pistol to be in the center of the paper plate. Not 1/3 of the paper plate, more in the center of the paper plate. So at that point in time, if you took a silhouette target, put it out in front of you, you're looking for that focus to be in the center of the chest. That's it. And then cut the shots. And while we cut the shots in a level manner, or the weapon stays level, they'll impact exactly where you're aiming, especially at 3 yards or 9 feet. Very cool. Very cool. Number 8. All right. This is a cool one because this works on speed and accuracy and distances. So it kind of gives you that. This drill is called the 5x5x5. It's been done multiple times. They call a lot of different stuff. This is 5 shots, 5 yards, 5 seconds. Now we need to work up to that 5 seconds. So what I would highly recommend you do is get a buddy with a timer. You can always use your timer on your phone if you'd like to. And we're going to start this drill out. And I do not normally when I get people to do these 5x5x5s, we only do it like maybe 5 times. So we got 5 shots, 5 yards, 5 seconds. So if I'm actually physically doing this, I'm going to do the first one for accuracy. I'm going to do 5 shots, 5 yards, maybe a good cadence would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those 5 shots be impacted exactly where. So you took your time shooting that. Now load up 5 more. Put the target back out at the 5 yards. Now let's speed up on the cadence a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, are we driving the weapon well enough? Did all 5 of those impact, or did I pull a couple of them out? If I pulled a couple of them out, I want to see what I'm doing wrong. Did it go left? Did it go right? Did it go high? Did it go low? Did it miss the target completely? Well, maybe at that point in time, I'm not really getting a good grip on the gun. So then I would visualize what I did there and I would load 5 more. And I'd do a little faster this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, where did those go? Surprisingly, a lot of times, the faster that we shoot, the more likely the gun's going to stay a little level. And we don't need to focus so much on the target as much as focusing on keeping the weapon level. Now, if we get 4 out of 5 at that cadence, I would probably do that cadence one more time. And then now I'm at my fifth time. I'm going to do 5 rounds, 5 yards. Now we're going to work on that 5 seconds, right? So I'm going to put up in front of you. We're going to good grip, good stance, ready to rock and roll. Have your buddy call at the time. You'll run the buzzer or whatever you're going to do. And bang, 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 bang. Let's see where we are on that thing. This is a great drill because it really tells you what the distance is and what the speed is. How fast can I run this gun and still be proficient? Now, the better you control it with your grip and your stance and your chest muscles for gentlemen and your back muscles for the ladies, you're going to start understanding how fast I can run these pistols and still be proficient. Because really, the 5x5x5, this is working off a 6-inch paper plate, let's just say we used. Okay. Well, we could actually make that paper plate maybe smaller, or we could kind of work on, let's say, for instance, they're in the paper plate, but they're at the bottom half of the paper plate. We could run that, see if we can get them more in the center of the paper plate. Maybe work a little bit more on the gripping the gun a little bit better. If the targets, if you're engaging these 5x5s and they're all to the left, or the bullets are all to the left, when you're not turning your chin right, or you've got the gun angled, or you got too much finger in the gun. But if you're doing this and you're right-handed and they're all upright and high, then you're squeezing too hard with your right hand. Remember, your non-dominant hand controls the weapon. Your dominant hand holds the weapon. Your non-dominant hand controls the weapon. And these are little tiny little tricks we can get ourselves in these videos. We'll show this to you. We do these videos, guys. Obviously, they're great videos. We get a lot of people looking at them. We get a lot of views from them. We get paid when people watch them. But the concept that we putting these together for you, because it gives you something you can visually see. Why I'm doing these ebooks, why I do all this stuff, because people consume my information multiple different ways. I never thought the podcast would work if you can't physically see what we're doing, but we're getting downloads like crazy on the podcast. And that's just me talking. So when you're able to take one of these ebooks, read it, go to the YouTube channel, watch it, take it to the range and do it, that's a great education for you. And you have it that you can look at and go back and see it. And guess what? I'm only an email or a message away. We do a lot of different people call us and ask, well, I'm having this problem. What can I do? And if I think it's going to be a great video, guess what I do? I pop one for you. I go in the back, we look it up, we shoot it, then we send it to you personally, and then we put it on the YouTube channel. So never hesitate to ask me. That's what I'm here for. This is my passion. I love to help you guys become better shooters and become more proficient, because we need people out there shooting. The world is against us, guys. They don't want us shooting a pistol. They don't want us having these abilities to protect ourselves. So you need to educate yourself to a point where you feel you're comfortable to educate your friends and family. Because without that, it's going to die, guys. The kids need to get into shooting. The parents need to get the kids into shooting. We need to get into this, because a cop's job is the right to report and draw the chalk line. It's your report, it's your job, it's your abilities to protect yourself. And that's the key. That's why learning to shoot, getting in, becoming proficient is your responsibility. All right, 5x5x5. This is the newest one. We just did this last week. This is called the box challenge. Now, this is one I put together. I'm not saying that I designed it, but it's designed for the 357. It's 3 yards, 5 yards, 7. this target is actually downloadable on this challenge. I want you to take this out. I want you to take it to the range. I want you to watch this video, download this target, take it to the range, shoot your 5 shots at 3 yards, shoot your 5 shots at 7 yards. I mean, five shots at 5 yards. The 3 shots. Excuse me, guys. I got to get a drink here. Sorry about that. And the 5 shots at 7. And we want to work on our accuracy as much as possible. We do these box drills. We do all these challenge drills at the shop here. We put them on the back wall and let people shoot them all the time because it's part of that deal. We want to make sure that people are doing something a little different, not being so boring at the range. I've shot this 3x5x7 in the video. I know I did really terrible at 7. I didn't really have the opportunity to shoot it prior to. I don't normally shoot a lot of these prior to, but I don't edit my videos either. So technically, it wasn't my best. I think out of the 3x5x7, I missed one I think I got all three. At 3, I got all of them. At 5, I dropped one. At 7, I dropped 1 or 2. Yeah, so 7, I dropped 2. So I know for a fact I needed really support on the 7. So that tells me that I need to work out to the 21 foot at this size of this box. Now that looks like a big square out there. That looks like that 3 looks like it's about, if that looks like it's an 18.5 by 11, but that target actually, guys, is on a 8.5 by 11. So that 3 is about what it is, 3 inches. And that 5 is about 5, and that 7's about 7. So it's technically, I blew it up for the video, for the thumbnail, but it's actually a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So you can kind of let you know that target's a lot smaller than it seems. Now, these drills that we have here, each one of these will support you in many ways if you have the opportunity to do it. And a lot of times people go to the range, they go, wow, what am I going to do today? What is the drill? Well, guess what, man? You got the YouTube channel right there. You got the playlist right there. You could pull up at the range, pull up a video, watch me do it, and then go into the range and shoot it. It'll stop you from using your phone in the range. Put me on mute. You don't have to have me talking, but you can get the effect of it and show me and show yourself that you can do these drills, because these drills are one of those things that we need to get more and more proficient. And because they're low round count drills, you're only talking maybe 2, maybe 4, maybe six drills, and you'll be at 100 rounds and had a great day at the range, learning your weaknesses and your strengths. Our job really is to conquer the distance that we need. Once you get past 21, you got to really be proficient with a pistol, because remember, guys, we're responsible for your bullet until it hits the ground. What that bullet hurts, maims, kills, paralyzes, you're criminally, morally, and civilly responsible for it. Bad guys don't care. You should. So your job is to be as proficient as possible with a handgun. And that takes time, that takes energy, that takes personal drills and learning your successes and your failures. We never learn from winning, we learn from failing. So these drills are designed to take you and make you fail. So then you know what you need to work on, what your weaknesses are, that you could better yourself. All right. All right. Whether you're a beginner or experienced shooter, these drills will help you improve your skills and marksmanship. Stay tuned to discover the most effective exercise to enhance your proficiency with a firearm. Let's gear up, and train like never before. Stay safe, stay sharp. Be sure you check out our full playlist of the training drills you must know. Very cool. Let's exit out of this bad boy here and go right to remove that from there. I am. Awesome. So let's go up and talk talk to the peoples. See who all's on the phone here. Who's all on the live. Treston was the first one at 6:01. Thank you, Treston. We appreciate you. Michael Blanco, we talked about. Richard said he was late, but he was still 6:09. That's not bad, Richard. You did good. At the same destination. Oh, okay. Richard can't comment, so but I'm here. That's good. Rick, very good. Chris, I'm glad you're here. Okay, there we go. No one's worked, but Chris talked about. I asked, "Have you ever shot one-handed?" And he said, "No, he has not." Maybe something you need to work on there, Chris. Okay, here we go. Now we got Cruiser 77. Let's see what he has to say. I am left-handed and I shoot with my right hand. For the same reason, I shoot better with my right hand. For some reason, than my right hand. Okay, and I'm right-handed. Yeah, you know what? That happens a lot. People are Chris, he's left-handed, but he feels better shooting right-handed, and because he's left-handed, he's somewhat ambidextrous, if you think about it. Now, most left-handed students are ambi because they've been doing the crap their whole life. Take a pair of scissors, for instance. They don't make a ton of left-handed scissors, and you guys look pretty silly trying to use scissors any other way than what a right-handed person is. But a lot of people, what the test really is, this is what we do all the time in the back, is someone can be left-handed, but they feel more natural shooting right-handed because Cruiser is right eye dominant, and this is very challenging to be left-handed and put the gun way over on your right eye. Now it happens the same thing with someone who's right-handed and puts the gun over his left eye. That happens a lot today. We've out of four, 5 training classes today. We had 4 of them that were left eye dominant, and most of them were right-handed people. So it's very common this happens. I would stick to what feels comfortable to you, Cruiser. I will tell you that you're not doing anything wrong. The only thing I would tell you is I would like you to keep shooting with both hands if you can and see what goes on. The challenge most of the time, and I don't know, we haven't talked yet or anything, but do you close an eye when you shoot or do you keep both eyes open? This is one of those things we need to work at as well because in a closed eye situation, you're losing about 180 degrees of viewing. And compared to if you have both eyes open, you get a better peripheral view. Now, it's very challenging for people to shoot with both eyes open if you haven't done it before, but it is something that most likely in real life situation, you're not going to be Popeyeing at the pistol in a high defense situation. Your eyes are going to be wide, and you're going to be in a situation where your flight or fight kicks in, and you most likely aren't even focusing on post or anything else like that. So the more we can get comfortable shooting both eyes open, the right-handed left eye dominant, left-handed right eye dominant, really at that point would not make that much difference, especially at short distances. I know there's a weird way to get around telling him he's doing everything okay, but I wanted to make sure I covered everything there. Thank you, Cruiser. That's awesome. Let me know if you're shooting both eyes open or you closing an eye. All right, here's Richard again. Let's see what Richard has to say. All right. Usually, if you break your arm or hand, it's probably your dominant hand because that's the one you're going to put down. Yep, in danger. You're 100% there. That is true. That is true. And a lot of times that's what's going to happen if you go to protect yourself or do anything else like that. That's why learning to shoot with both hands is very important. It's a very good education for people because a lot of people, when they do it the first time, they have it just feels so awkward to them that they just don't have any idea of why it just feels weird, right? I'll tell you, it's a funny story, but it's not really a funny story. Is Many years ago, I broke my wrist putting corn in a feeder. I had a $36 extension ladder. My fat ass was on the top of it, and having my 8-year-old son Johnny hold the ladder while I was picking a 50-pound bag of corn and put it in the feeder. Now the problem with that is that the winch that was holding the feeder was broken. So instead of me being smart and take the winch and fix it, I just put the corn on my shoulder and took it up the ladder. And when I got up there, the ladder gave away and I fell and broke my wrist. Well, I was in Jasper, Florida, and it happened on Friday night at about 4:30 in the afternoon. So we had a guy coming to put food plots in, and it was my turn to be there to let the guy do all the food plot stuff. So I went Friday night, Saturday night, and by Sunday, my wrist was just killing me. I got home and I told my wife, I said, when I get home, we need to go to the hospital because I think I broke my wrist. And she said, when did you do that? And I said, Friday. She said, Friday? I said, yeah, Friday. I broke my wrist on Friday. And so, long story short, I broke my wrist and I didn't need surgery, but technically I had to wear a cast and it was on my right hand. Well, if you never ever had to wipe your butt with the wrong hand, you'll find out when you're trying to do something with the wrong hand, it ain't easy. So it ain't easy. So after having that cast on my hand for about 6 months and getting it all fixed up and everything else like that, it I don't I wipe my butt with my left hand. I mean, that's just the way it is. I stuck with it. So once you get natural and do something right like that, it makes all the difference in the world. So it's been an hour. I don't have any other subscribers asking any questions or anything else like that. So I'm going to go up and say goodbye to everybody. I appreciate you very much. It means an awful lot to me every night for you guys to be on these calls and go through our dream that we wanted to do many years ago of having a YouTube social media, be able to do all this stuff and give you this education. We appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. Without you, I'm nothing. Obviously, my family comes first, but you subscribers are a part of my family, and I love you very much. And you are supporting a dream of mine. Many years ago, I wanted to get this firearms training facility built for something for myself and my family to, pass down to the boys and get them going and do everything else like that. And it's coming to fruition because of people like you. So if you have an opportunity to support us in any way possible, we would appreciate it very much. It's one of those things that I can tell you uh, without having asking for anything, supporting us through any memberships you do or buying any of the books or anything else like that. It just goes towards other stuff to support us. We're working off iPhones. We don't really have a real fancy computer. We're doing all my laptop stuff. So anything you do membership wise or anything else like that comes directly from you. And we support it very much so. And we thank you for that. All right, looks like everyone listen. That's sure. Give a thumbs up. It will help. Yeah, yeah. He's right there. I mean, you know, I hate. I kind of feel bashful asking for stuff. I don't want it to seem like I want to give you something. I want to give you more than what you're giving me, if that makes sense. But anything you guys do, like hitting the subscribe button or sharing the videos or doing a thumbs up, making any comments you make, all this stuff just helps the algorithms, shows other people. After these lives, the actual live itself, we're lucky to get 8, maybe 15. I've had up to 20 people watching these things, and I don't really care who watches it live and who watches it after the fact. But some of our lives are getting 400, 500, 600 videos. watches after the fact. And that's kind of cool if you think about it, right? And we're touching all over the world, not just our little town here in Cape Coral, Florida. We get people contacting us on a regular basis from all over, letting us know how we're helping them, helping their accuracy and everything else like that. So, uh, you know, it's humbling really sometimes when you get people to call you or call you on the phone and I'm able to answer it. You try to call Mr. B or some of those guys, one of these guys on the YouTube. We're trying to respond to every comment. We're trying to do everything we can. And I hope I never get big enough that I can't physically stop and say, hey, I want to appreciate you for that. Every ebook that's been sold so far, I've tried to contact the people and find out where they found it at, why they bought it at, and everything else like that. So, if you get an opportunity to support us through the ebooks, if you get an opportunity to do one of our memberships, those are pretty easy. It's only $2.99, and it's a monthly donation you do, but it does support us in many ways. God bless, guys. Be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. Richard Shepard, thank you very much. Cruiser 77, thank you. Chris Hayes, as always, thank you. Michael Blanco, Tristan, you guys are the best. Thank you for being here this evening. Hope you have a wonderful week, rest of the week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you on next week's live. God willing, we'll be here. And you will have a great evening. I'm going to play the video and get us the heck out of here. All right, banners and hit that video and intro, end screen coming.